The Trump administration has just 6 days left in office. That's less than a week. And U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has just one item on his to-do list: to make things difficult for U.S. President-elect Joe Biden and Pompeo's successor, Antony Blinken. When U.S. President Donald Trump lost the November elections, we told you he's a sore loser and how he will use his remaining days in the White House to create hurdles for Joe Biden. Pompeo seems to have been tasked with this. Tonight we'll tell you about 4 decisions he's taken, 4 moves he's made that are going to make life difficult for the Biden administration. Let's start with Iran. Mike Pompeo has declared Iran as Al-Qaeda's new home. How did he conclude that? Pompeo did not think it was necessary to give any evidence.
You now have the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, the Islamic Republic of Iran, as the home base for Al-Qaeda. They are partners in terrorism, partners in hate. This axis poses a grave threat to the security of nations and to the American homeland itself. I would say Iran is indeed the new Afghanistan as the key geographic hub for Al-Qaeda. But it's actually worse.
Trump had no clear policy on Iran. He exercised maximum pressure. The Trump administration pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal. It slapped sanctions on Tehran. A U.S. drone assassinated Iran's powerful general, Qasem Soleimani. In short, Donald Trump did everything he could to destroy every scope for Iran and the U.S. to return to the negotiation table. Experts had feared that Trump could launch an attack on Iran in his final days in office. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had to speak to Pentagon's top general to ensure that Donald Trump does not get access to nuclear codes. I'm not making any of this up. Donald Trump may not have been successful in a military assault on Iran, but his aide, Mike Pompeo, has successfully hit America's diplomacy. You see, Joe Biden wants to return to the talking table with Iran, and by calling Iran Al-Qaeda's new home, Mike Pompeo has ensured that the road to that table is as difficult as possible. Here's what else the Secretary of State has done. Decision number 2. Pompeo has designated Yemen's Houthi rebels as terrorists. 8 groups, including the United Nations, have now said that Pompeo's actions could lead to serious humanitarian and political repercussions. This move could hit Yemen's imports, including food and essential commodities. It could scare off banks and companies working with Yemeni markets. Yemen has suffered 6 years of war. This country is already starving. Yemen is staring at a famine and an economic collapse. Pompeo's announcement could block humanitarian assistance and be the final nail in the coffin for Yemen. Designating Houthi rebels as a foreign terrorist organization will polarize the conflict even further. Experts say it may kill any chance for peace.
For Yemen and the next steps, I'm scared for my friends and colleagues in Yemen because the country is going to enter an even more difficult chapter. Under the best case scenario now, President-elect Biden will come in and on day 1, hour 1, minute 1, revoke these designations.
Well, Biden can do that. But he has made it very clear that his priority will be to tackle the Wuhan virus in America. It's still the worst hit country. Pompeo's actions have planted distraction and hindrance. Here's another one of Pompeo's last-minute actions, the 3rd on our list. He has returned Cuba to the U.S. blacklist for state sponsors of terrorism. Why? Pompeo is citing Cuba's ties with Colombian rebels, its alliance with Venezuela. And to further justify this move, Pompeo has said that Cuba is providing a safe haven to several U.S. fugitives. In 2015, then U.S. President Barack Obama tried to normalize relations between America and Cuba. He delisted Havana as a state sponsor of terrorism. Joe Biden had hinted that he wanted to return to at least some engagement started under the Obama administration. Joe Biden wants to allow Cuban Americans to visit family and send money, but Mike Pompeo's move could discourage financial institutions from dealing with Cuba. It could also spring up a new challenge for his successor, Antony Blinken. The incoming Secretary of State would have to initiate a review to show that Cuba did not engage in terrorism in the last 6 months. In other words, an added task for the Biden White House, especially when it has its foreign policy plate full with grave matters like China. Mike Pompeo is not just creating hurdles for America's outreach, he has also laid the groundwork for nixing ties with allies. This is the fourth point on our list. Pompeo has said that he will do everything to stop the Nord Stream 2 project. What is this project? It is Russia's gas pipeline to Europe, Nord Stream 2. It is being built at the cost of $11 billion. The project is more than 90% complete, but now it has been stopped. After completing it 90%. Why has it been stopped? Because the US has slapped sanctions. Russia recently said it will complete the project nonetheless. And guess what is being reported? As we speak, the United States is preparing new sanctions against Nord Stream 2. Like I said, the only thing on Mike Pompeo's agenda right now is to block every possible channel of diplomacy for the Biden White House. He's working day and night towards it. This is Mike Pompeo's legacy. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.